I don't know how to engage with people like you. I don't know if you are like legitimately mentally challenged, if you actually have 75 IQ, if you need mom and dad to help you like get ready, or if you've got like a state provided caretaker to help you get ready in the morning. I don't know if you're able to clean yourself properly after you go to the bathroom, or if there's like a special facility that people like you go to where somebody has to okay you leaving the room so you don't smell like shit every time you take a dump because you're too stupid to wipe your own ass. I don't know what to say to you. I'm not even gonna give the difference an explanation, because if you don't understand at this point, you literally never will. It's probably beyond your comprehension. You like can't conceptualize hypotheticals. Like when things disappear behind doors, you think they've disappeared forever. Like when mom and dad still play peekaboo with you, you think that they're actually like going into another plane of existence. Like, I don't know what to say to you. Like, I don't even know. I'm not even gonna give the difference an explanation. If you're honest to God, that stupid. The difference between like, do you think that a foreign power might have tried to like create shell companies in the United States, like the Internet Research Agency, in order to try to like turn elections or whatever? Is that being the same as there were literal actual fraudulent votes on machines that were made by the ghost of Hugo Chavez? If you think these two things are the same, you are a lost cause. My only hope is that you're so lost stumbling around your house every day that you never manage to find your way to a ballot box and contribute a vote to the destruction of this country. That's my only hope for you. What a moron.
I can't tell you how many people have asked me if I've seen it. I think it's one of the most eye-opening things that's ever been done on this whole gender confusion thing that we're going through right now in our culture. And it was just like one of those things where I had to watch. Like, so many people were like, you have to see this. You have to see this. And I expected it to be like, I thought it would be like arguments with people, or it would be very, very confrontational. But instead, I think you did it masterfully. What you did is you just let these people explain themselves the way they would talk if you weren't there, the way they would talk to people who agree with what they're saying. And by not pushing back, I think you allowed them to let all the crazy out. And it's like, it's hard to describe to people that aren't aware of what's going on, of how wild this stuff has gotten. But first of all, tell me, what was the process of making this? Like, how long did it take? What was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, thanks for talking about it so much on your podcast, by the way. It's been a huge boost for us.
Dude, every time I hear this guy, maybe he'll impress me this time, but every time I see him tweet or talk, it is the most like pseudo-intellectual shit in the world. I don't even know if this motherfucker has a prescription for glasses, okay? That's how triggered this guy makes me when he talks. Actually.
And I had this idea. You'd really have to go back several years, because it occurred to me maybe back in, 2017, that when this transgender stuff was starting to really gain mainstream traction, which I think happened really, that was like maybe when Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner. That was the moment that I think it exploded onto the mainstream. Not when it began, but it exploded into mainstream. Right around that time, it sort of occurred to me that...
Why is literally everything is coalescing around social issues and culture wars? Because Republicans don't have answers to any real problems. All they can talk about are other people's uteruses and like other people's like sex organs in children. That's all they have. They have no economic solutions to anything. They can't they don't have answers to any problems. They're not here to solve or do anything or fix anything. They just want to unravel and tear shit apart and then hyper fixate on culture war issues. It's actually so fucking pathetic. Like, what's your plan for the economy?
No more mandatory vaccine.
What are we gonna do about Ukraine and Russia?
No more gender therapy for kids.
That the people promoting this stuff have a problem, which is that we're supposed to accept someone like Bruce as a woman, but then what exactly does that mean? What are we accepting him as? Like, he says, I identify as a woman. Well, what are you identifying as? What are we, if you're a woman, well, I know what a woman was before, but if now we're including a guy like Bruce, then what is a woman now? And so I started asking this question. It was really basic, just like, what is a woman? What are you trying to say about womanhood now? And couldn't get anyone to answer it. I mean, and mostly it's just on Twitter, and challenging someone on the left. Just give me a definition. What's your definition of the word? And none of them would do it. So at a certain point, I thought, well, we have to find a way to go out and put this question in front of them. And that's sort of where the idea for the documentary came from. And we...
Yeah. I am here to debate black issues. What's your problem? Where are you, fanatic? When are you going to debate him? Walsh? Walsh will never talk to me. And he's smart not to.
Knew going in that we wanted two things, well, three things. One is we have the mission behind it, the message that we want to get across. But we also want it to be a piece of entertainment, you know, because a lot of conservative documentaries, not all of them, but many of them are just, you feel like you're watching an extended version of a podcast or something. It's not a piece of entertainment. So we wanted it to be that. And then we also knew that the way this is going to work, if it works at all, is if I'm just asking questions. Because if it's me going on a tour around the country yelling at people, that would be satisfying for me emotionally, but it wouldn't prove anything other than what people already know, which is that two sides yell at each other. So we wanted to give...
Okay, this is boring as fuck.
It's done.
Depends on what... I don't think we have exact numbers, but if we're talking about the drugs, millions.
How many people have had this done?
Depends on what... I don't think we have exact numbers, but if we're talking about the drugs, millions.
Millions? How did you do a whole documentary on this and you're like 4 orders of magnitude off? Millions of kids on puberty blockers? Millions? Millions?
You're talking about hormone blockers.
Yeah.
Millions of kids have been on hormone blockers? Really?
I'm sure someone's going to fact check me on that, but my guess is that we're into the millions now at this point. Yeah.
You know what? I actually am glad he said that. That is your guess. That truly shows what your state of mind is and how disconnected you are from reality, if that's what you feel, right? I like asking engaging questions like what is the percentage of people that you think are this? And somebody's like, 98% of people probably feel this way. And it's like, okay, well, we looked at the data and it's actually like 12%. I think you're a little bit disconnected, buddy. Millions of children on puberty blockers? How many children are even in the US? Like, what is the total number of people from like age 18 and below? How many minors in the United States? What would I look for? What's the number here? There's about like 75 million. So if he says millions, he thinks what, like 5% of kids are on puberty blockers?
Be my guess. I can say for double mastectomies, I read a report recently that there were over 1,000 done between 2016 and 2019. And when you compare that to how many were done between 2008 and 2015, it's a massive increase. And over 1,000 girls had gender-affirming double mastectomies in that time frame.
And when you say girls, you're talking about prepubescent?
Right, minors. And that's just up until 2019. And then we know that there's been this exponential increase with all this stuff year over year. So it's a lot. It's too many. Having this happen to one kid is way too many. It's a lot more than one.
Yeah, and look, if you're an adult and you want to do that and you understand who you are and what you are...
Hold on, no shot. Americans think 21% of the population are transgender? That can't... What? 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 No shot. I would have to... I'm curious where this polling data comes from. No way. That's insane. I can't believe that. Have a household income over $1 million? No shot. Are Native American 27%? 30% are Jewish? No. This has to be... I don't know where this came from, but this is some wacky shit. This is a wacky poll. No way. This has got to be a wacky poll. I don't think I trust this. I don't even know if... Even if I read where it came from, I don't think I would believe it. How could you simultaneously believe that 20% of the population has a household income over $1 million, but only 38% has a household income over $100,000? Like, this doesn't even make sense. You think there are more people that are making over $1 million than there are people between like the 100,000 to 900, 900? Like, this is just so weird. I don't know. Thank you for voting, A Boy Called Sue. We all thank you for your service.
And this is how you feel you should progress. You're an adult. This is a free country. You should be able to do whatever you want. But when you're talking about doing that to children, the fact that so many people are on board and so many people are angry, if you have, like, people are going to be angry at us that we're having these conversations.
Yeah, they will be. And I also, I actually think that that this shouldn't be happening to.
It's a very small number, if that's right.
It says over the last 5 years, there were at least 4,780 adolescents who started puberty blockers and had a prior gender dysphoria diagnosis.
This says it's kind of undercounted, but that
would be a big undercounting.
Less than 1,000 people a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess, hundreds of thousands at this, but I could be wrong.
You did a whole documentary on this, didn't you? How do you not have any background information at all about any of this? Did you do any reading, any research, anything at all?
Million sounds great.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
The Media Matters will have fun with that clip.
Yeah.
Matt Walsh claims it.
I think mail-in balloting introduces too large of an attack surface for Republicans to point to as a vulnerability, whether it is exploited or not, and it should be ended. No! F you! It shouldn't be ended. You can't hold yourself hostage to the insane ramblings of the schizophrenic, delusional Trump-tards on the other side. Mail-in voting has been used for fucking decades. I'm pretty sure by Trump himself and by a ton of people in the military. There are lots of people that use mail-in ballots and have used it for a long history in the United States. Like, we're not getting rid of it right now just because Republicans are and I don't even think traditionally, historically, I don't even think mail-in ballots have favored Democrats. I'm pretty sure they've slightly favored Republicans. You guys are actually insane. Actually, I take it all back. I think that mail-in ballots are rigged. And if you are a Republican, I highly suggest don't waste your vote on a mail-in ballot. Don't do it, guys. If you're a Republican, don't put your vote in a mail-in ballot, because I heard Hillary's going from office to office, throwing all the Republican ones out. So remember, spread the word. If you're a Republican, don't mail-in vote. Definitely a bad idea. You're right. Isn't all that Russian interference thing kind of a denial of election results? I don't know how to, I don't know how to engage with people like you. I don't know if you are like legitimately mentally challenged. If you actually have 75 IQ, if you need mom and dad to help you like get ready, or if you've got like a state provided caretaker to help you get ready in the morning. I don't know if you're able to clean yourself properly after you go to the bathroom, or if there's like a special facility that people like you go to where somebody has to okay you leaving the room so you don't smell like shit every time you take a dump because you're too stupid to wipe your own ass. I don't know what to say to you. I'm not even going to give the difference in explanation, because if you don't understand at this point, you literally never will. It's probably beyond your comprehension. You like can't conceptualize hypotheticals. Like when things disappear behind doors, you think they've disappeared forever. Like when mom and dad still play peekaboo with you, you think that they're actually like going into another plane of existence. Like I don't know what to say to you. Like I don't even know. I'm not even going to give the difference in explanation. If you're honest to God, that stupid. The difference between like, do you think that a foreign power might have tried to like create shell companies in the United States, like the Internet Research Agency, in order to try to like turn elections or whatever? Is that being the same as there were literal actual fraudulent votes on machines that were made by the ghost of Hugo Chavez? If you think these two things are the same, you are a lost cause. My only hope is that you're so lost stumbling around your house every day that you never manage to find your way to a ballot box and contribute a vote to the destruction of this country. That's my only hope for you. What a moron. The Destiny, I agree these are different, but his point was that the Democrats also pushed a conspiracy when they lost. They didn't push a conspiracy. It happened. Did you read any of the indictments? There were actual organizations in the United States that were ran by operatives working out of the Kremlin that were organizing. There was a protest where they literally organized both sides of the protest. What do you mean a conspiracy? It happened. It was actually real shit. Do you not understand? Do you not think that do you think it was all fake? I like how the government pours hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of man hours into the Hillary Clinton Benghazi shit, into the Hillary Clinton email shit, and they turn up nothing. But when they actually pour effort into figuring out, like, well, what were the Guccifer hacks? Well, what were some of these agencies set up in the United States? That TEN Republican account on Twitter was ran by Russians. It was ran by Russians. Literally. It was the TENN GOP account, I think. It had like over 100,000. How many thousands of followers did that account have? Was it over 200,000 followers? Like, it was literally ran by Russians. Did you not read or follow any of this? You think it's all the same shit? The chances of Russian people doing anything in the U.S. election are about the same as actually machines changing all the votes. How many followers did this account have? 150,000 followers. I thought this account was a real Juba account. I remember we watched it a few times. Just because it happened doesn't mean it happened like Democrats said. They literally said they directly interfered. Who said that they changed vote totals? That was never the claim. Seriously, who needs Russian bots when we have American idiots? Absolutely true. An actual tool. You're an actual anti-patriotic tool. If you could just be honest and say, I hate this country, be honest about it at least. You're an actual Russian shill. It's crazy because your stock, and this drives me insane, your stock, the people that you came from, were the most anti-Russian motherfuckers in the world. I remember my mom constantly talking about Soviet Russia, Red China, and the Chi-Coms constantly. And now you guys are actual anti-democratic, anti-American, pro-Russian shills. It's wild. Oh, it's okay. It's not okay. It's actually insane. It's wild to me, but it is what it is. Can you address my point about the media's admitted attempt to interfere with the election, including taking Trump off air during the pandemic because it was too successful in getting his approval up? The media, of course the media interferes in the election. They talk about the people that they want to win. If you're a media company, you have the right to like put a candidate that like you support, like your candidate of approval or whatever, on air or not on air. That's not election interference. That's gotta be a troll. That's gotta be a troll. That has to be a troll. You can't act like some pundits didn't say, ooh, there's another perm ban. Pundits saying something is different than the president of the United States saying something. The only reason why you don't understand this is because you treat Trump like a child and you give him no accountability or responsibility for any of the things he says. Are you gonna tell me that there's some random dipshit on CNN that said the election should be invalid? Yeah, probably. I'm sure there was. I'm sure there were random pundits that said a lot of crazy shit. I'm looking at political leaders, okay? Did Hillary Clinton say this? Were there people in the Senate or House that said this? I'm not asking what the Anderson Cooper said. Right now I'm talking about the ex-president of the United States. Holy shit. Did something happen? Why is Jesse so hot-headed in response to retard state? Because most of the shit that we fight over on this stream is like mean shit, like culture wars issues, or even black issues or whatever. It's like fun stuff. It's interesting to talk about. It's cool or whatever. The Trump shit is legitimately people that are on a delusional level that want to walk the whole country off a cliff. Like, it's actually unbelievable the different reality that these people live in, and they're so smug and retarded about it at the same time. They don't have an understanding of medicine. They push all the bullshit related to the vaccine shit is embarrassing. They have no understanding about geopolitics. Everything they talk about relating to Afghanistan or Russia, Ukraine is a joke. They live in their whole little like media bubble that is completely disconnected from every other form of reality, and then they'll sit there and smug post online about how they're doing things to improve the country or to free us or blah 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 blah, while following Trump, who's like one of the most incompetent leaders in all of history. Like, to see somebody that is that delusional to that level of like lack of responsibility, that level of like Trump is one of the biggest crybaby presidents I've ever seen in my entire life. If Trump was a Democratic president, you guys would be crying every fucking day about how much of a fucking loser that he is. Every time he goes on stage, oh, they stole the election. Oh, all the people around me backstabbed me. Oh, it's just blah 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 blah. He's the least accountable leader of all time, and that is one of the most important aspects of being a leader, is taking accountability. Like, Trump ran on the auspice of being a leader and being a unifier. He said that he was going to bring Democrats and Republicans together, and he said he was going to be a leader that takes accountability. He divided this country more than any other president in history, probably including Civil War times, okay? Literally, he was one of the most divisive presidents in U.S. history, and he couldn't bring anybody together on anything, and he's one of the least accountable people of all time. Guess what? I'm sorry. Welcome, because I know that a lot of you people that vote for Trump are poor like loser Republicans that don't know anything about running businesses. You just assume that Daddy Trump does. Here's step number 1 to being a CEO or a leader in a business. And I'll tell you this as an entrepreneur, okay? This is the fact. You are who you hire. You are the people that you surround yourself with. And every good leader or CEO will tell you that. Trump probably would have said the same thing before running for president. In fact, I would probably bet my life savings without even having seen it. I would bet my life savings that if you were to go through every season of The Apprentice, I bet that Trump has said multiple times to people on that show, you need to pick your help better. You need to assume responsibility, that you're not allowed to make excuses for the people working under you. This is one of the hallmarks of being a business leader or a CEO or an entrepreneur. And every single one will tell you that. Because when the bank comes at the end of the day for you to pay off your loan, when a customer shows up at the end of the day to accuse your business of doing something, when the paper writes something about you, you're not allowed to go and say, oh, bank, I'm sorry, but my employees around, or oh, customer that has an issue, I'm sorry, but like, you know, my employees were late today, or oh, paper who's writing something bad, well, don't write about my company, write about my employees. But Trump did that consistently throughout his entire presidency. He constantly blamed the people that he was around. He'd blame Congress. He's the leader. He's supposed to bring these people together. Like, it's unbelievable. He's one of the worst leaders of all time in terms of being in the presidency, and you guys can't see it because you're mad about trans kids, because you let progressives on Twitter just like trigger the out of you so much that you turn into this atomic ash snowflake that just wants to watch the world burn. Why do you like Trump? Well, I don't defend Trump as a president, but he's really funny. Yes, Destiny, government hiring workers, same as company hiring. Permaban. Trump chooses his cabinet. Trump is the one that makes a lot of these nominations. See ya. Bye, buddy. Good luck. Go pick up a U.S. government textbook from 5th grade, okay? Learn how the government works, you moron. Who picked Manafort? Who picked Cohen? Like all the people who picked Giuliani to surround Trump with? Who picked these people? Where did Stone come from? Where did Bannon come from? Were these people voted on by Congress? The fuck out of here, you fucking moron. Destiny, you have all the talking points, but none of the substance. Trump is the physical manifestation of the Republicans' frustration with the left. But go ahead and set up another Democrat to deplatform people even further so that an even worse Republican can come out of the ashes fight against the left retard. Here's my problem, not racy, okay? I have an ungodly amount of patience, okay? I have an ungodly amount of patience. What you don't see is that every single day on my stream, 10% of my brain has to go towards being an intelligent and smart individual that is equipping himself with facts and data to have intelligent and reasonable conversations about topics. And 90% of my brain goes towards trying to understand how you all became such triggered, remedial snowflakes so that I can navigate a conversation gently enough with you to not set your brain off so that you're incapable of hearing what anybody else has to say. That's what I spend most of my time on. That's what I spend most of my time thinking about. You understand? It's like herding a group of kindergartners and trying to figure out what I can say to you so that it doesn't set you the fuck off. Because what I really want to say, when we talk about things like, this is how I have to have a conversation about hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin with remedial dipshits like you. This is what I have to say. I understand. Fauci and the CDC, they did get some things wrong. And it's really bullshit that like some of the media, they have like a bias. And I totally understand why you can have like a mistrust in government when they act in the ways that they do, when they act kind of smug, when a lot of the politicians and the media seem to be on the same page. I understand the frustration there. And then when you've got other figures like Joe Rogan who are willing to platform voices that are unpopular, platform voices that don't get voiced as much, opinions don't get voiced as much. When you hear these people talk, you have this inclination to trust them a little bit more because they're willing, right? I don't believe any of that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate doing that. Every day I come on stream. What I really want to say is, oh, you think that these are good drugs? Let's look at the studies. Oh, you're retarded. That's it. You don't have RCTs. You don't have prospective RCTs to support ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. You're a moron. You know what you are? You're so triggered by a 92-year-old limp dick Fauci going up on TV talking that you're about to eat any pill that a meathead like Joe Rogan will tell you to eat. That's what I really want to say to you. But I can't say that. I have to communicate to you like you're a triggered 5-year-old. You know how frustrating that is? Every day I come on stream when I talk to you, I have to figure out what is the nicest way I can communicate to you so your brain will function at the 10% capacity it's capable of just to understand the things that I'm telling you. It is so frustrating. Holy shit. I understand why Trump is popular. It's because you're triggered. Admit it, but you won't even admit that. The reality is that you're triggered that a couple people on TV get a few things wrong sometimes, and that some other smug dipshit progressives who are smug and who are dipshits act like smug dipshits, that you want to go as far off in the other direction as possible. And then I have to find a way to rope you back in. Like I'm a... We're free to go. I hate it. I hate I hate having to, it is so irritating that I have to spend so much of my brain to be a gentle remedial rancher, that I've got to go out into the fields and I've got to figure the gentlest way out to talk to you. Otherwise, you're going to get so triggered, you're going to vote for a man that wants to torch U.S. democracy. Okay? Jesus Christ. Okay. Back to rhetorical mode. Back to effective mode. I understand why you're triggered. I've never seen Destiny this lefty. What happened to him? What the f happened to him? Did Walsh pay for him? I'm sorry. If you're a conservative in my chat, the reason why you like me so much is because usually when I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to be like a gentle rancher of kindergarten-esque triggered snowflakes. And I speak to you and you hear me and you're like, wow, he really understands me because I'm treating you like the triggered f***ing moron I know that you are, okay? On election day, I get a little bit more, a little bit less tolerant of your stupidity because on days like today, it really matters. So don't worry. Tomorrow, I'll go back to being understanding again. Okay. So you can talk about how much you value freedom of speech while your disgusting fucking leader talks about suing the media for libel and says that the media are the enemy of the people. One of the most unimaginably anti-democratic statements a president could, one of the most fascist statements that a president of the United States could ever make. But then I'll go back and pretend that it didn't happen. And that's just as bad. That's the same thing as people getting banned on Twitter. Okay.